Hi, I'm Bert Kinnister, and I'm going to help you solve one of the biggest problems in your game. Have you reached a plateau and you just don't seem to be able to get any better? You control the cue ball rather well, you seem to get on the right lines, but you're just not getting any better. You're not winning all the ball games that you think you ought to. Well, the same thing has happened to several of my students. And what I've found is that as their position got better, their ability to make shots decreased. So I've isolated the shots that come up game after game after game that you've always got to be able to make. I put them in a workout form and I brought them to your level. What I found with this is that those people who do this workout bring themselves up to another notch. If you remember Ed Vogler, he's been on several of my videotapes. He reached a plateau last year. We just couldn't get him any better, and it was his mission. Continually, he would miss what are simple shots. We put him on his shot maker's workout regimen, and in the last 6 weeks, he's been thrown out of a pool room for winning a tournament 4 times in a row. I mean, it's really brought him over the edge. You can't, as you get better with the position play, forget the shot making. If you give me 6 to 8 weeks with this, it takes about an hour a day, and it's fun. It's fun. You'll hone these shots back into your mind so that you can use them all the time. This really has helped people that are stalled get their game in gear. The shot maker's workout is a product of my dealing with students that I get them controlling that cue ball real well. I get them good with patterns, and they're still not getting to the level that I want to see them play at. And what I have found is that as their cue ball control gets better and better, their shot making goes down. I think that's a problem endemic in all of pool. As you get better as a pool player, you seem to get better. You're running more racks. You understand the patterns, and you're having easy shot after easy shot after easy shot, which is of course what you want. When you come to the more difficult shots that you should be, depending at your level, if you're a C player, you should be 50% on every one of these shots, 50, 60%. B player should be 60 to 80%, and an A player should be just about 100% on all of these shots. I determined that these were the shots that I had to put together after almost 18 months of watching what shots players miss. They stay in line, they stay in line, they stay in line, and then they get a little bit out of line, or they get a little bit of distance between them and the object ball, and they're apt to miss a shot like this or very similar to this, which is something they should never do to play at whatever level they're playing at. So after a lot of study, I put together these shots, and I put them together in a workout form. Now, this is the first shot, and here's what I want you to do. You set an object ball, an inch, inch and a half, up to 2 inches off the rail. It doesn't have to be, it's not written in stone, right in this area every time. Now, if you consider yourself a C player, you pick a number. You pick 5 or you pick 6 to get started, and we're going to want you to pocket this ball in the corner pocket that many times in a row. If you pocket 3 and miss, you start back down at 0. Now, if you're a B player, you pick a number, 6, 7, 8. The higher the number, the better the player you're going to be. If you consider yourself an A player, you pick 10, because you've got to be able to pocket this ball in that pocket 10 times in a row. Now, the thing I want you to do for me now, if you've got a pool table at home, just humor me with this. Go set this shot up before we talk about it anymore. Shoot it 2 or 3 times, and then come back and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. Just go shoot it 2 or 3 times and come back to the table and see if I didn't predict what you did wrong when you missed it. Just go do that for me, and then I'll see you in a few seconds. Okay, I'm going to tell you what you did wrong. How many of you, now be honest with me, those of you that did, I know there's guys that didn't go do it, but those of you that did go shoot this shot, tell me, let me see, I'm going to tell you when you missed this ball, where you hit the rail. You hit this rail, right about there. Right about where this chalk is. How do I know that? Because that's the sucker side of this shot. What happened? You probably hit this ball exactly where you wanted to. This is one of the major things that makes people quit this game. They hit ball after ball after ball exactly where they think they want to, and the balls don't go in the hole, and they say to themselves, well, I think I'm in it right where I want to, and the balls aren't falling. Maybe there's something wrong with me, and I quit. And there's nothing wrong with you Here's what's going on. I know I've talked to her about it before, but it's, if you hit this rail right where I said you did, then, you know, you have to have this tape. Your brain, as a human being, wants, when it aims at something, wants a solid point to aim at. So you aim at the dead center back of the pocket. This is the dead center back of the pocket. If you take this ball and you aim it at the dead center back of the pocket, your brain says, I'm going to hit the back of that pocket, I'm going to hit that ball where it's got to go. The line from the back of that pocket to this ball crosses the rail right here. Everybody that's aiming at the dead center back of that pocket hit the rail right here. Now, if you're hitting the rail right here, that means you have the ability to hit this ball where you want to. Your brain just doesn't realize that the opening is over here. You're not aiming at the back of a pocket. You're aiming at a hole in space, at an opening. You need to aim this ball over here. I was just in Texas with a woman named Carla, and she set this shot up, you know, and this is without any prompting from me. This is one of the shots, and she says, Bert, you know, she was a pretty good player, and you know, she was taking a lesson, and she said, I keep hitting this ball into the rail. What's the matter? I says, Carla, your brain is aiming at the back of the hole. You got to aim at the opening. And I put a little piece of chalk over here, and I says, Carla, aim at the chalk. You know, you need a solid reference point. Aim at the chalk. You know, that's the opening. You're aiming at a hole. And I swear, she's made 20 in a row, and she's been having trouble. She thinks the shot's holding her back. 20 in a row. So, you know, Carla, this one's for you and everybody else out there that hits the ball over here. Those of you that hit the ball over here, you know, that's the player side of this shot. Every shot's got a sucker side and a player side. Let me show you why. If you hit this ball where I thought you missed it, watch what you leave your incoming opponent. Didn't leave much there, did you guys? Hey. I can miss it. There. You leave your incoming opponent a pretty good shot. When you hit this rail first, this rail, it comes out this way. On the other hand, that's the sucker side right there. If you're playing a pretty good player and he sees you missing balls over there, he knows that you don't realize you've got to hit the ball at the hole. He also knows that he's going to get shots. You're going to leave him in front of the hole. On the other hand, if you miss this ball on the player side, which is too thin, look what you leave your opponent. Now, when a player misses that shot, look what he leaves you. When a player misses that shot, he's aiming outside here at the opening. If he does hit it bad and overcuts it, he leaves you a bank. A sucker hits this rail over here because he doesn't know enough to aim at the opening, comes off 2 rails, and he leaves the incoming player a shot. There's a sucker side and a player side to every shot. Those guys out there, and it's just a matter of knowledge here and aiming at the right spot on the table. You know, you can elevate yourself from sucker to player in a few weeks by hitting the balls on the right spot. A guy that realizes that you're hitting into this rail every time, that means that you're actually hitting the ball pretty close to where you want it. You're just aiming it at the wrong spot. He's going to stick with you forever. If you see the man that you're playing with, when he misses, he hits over here, he hits the player side, he just has a little bit more knowledge than you, not necessarily more skill. You know, this is where you pick up the knowledge. Now let's see if I can pop this thing a few times in a row, and we go on to the next shot. Whoops. Okay, I should be able to get a 10 in a row. We'll see here. We'll see. One of the other things is the way you develop intensity. Well, let me hit a couple of these.